Welcome to the NFL Splatoon. How tough are you?
How tough am I? I traded for Micah Parsons for 2 firsts and Kenny Clark.
Right this way, sir. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Welcome to another episode of the DQ Frenzy, where we have cold vibes and chill takes. Got any comments on that? Anyway, I'm your host Quinn Cheadle, along with Dylan Shields, co-host. If you couldn't tell, I switched them on purpose. It's yeah. Anyway,
Not funny.
Dylan, how are you?
Well, a little under the weather, but both our teams are 1-0, so I'll take
Yeah,
that.
look at that.
But there's a reason why my man Quinn is hosting the second time, because me got a cold. But guess what? Steelers go to Super Bowl, so who cares how I feel?
Yeah, he's got a rhinovirus, but it's fine. Rhinovirus is the name for like a common cold for this week.
I got
Anyway,
Rodgers-itis.
moving on to Rhinovirus. He's got so excited yelling at the TV screen, he is sick. Uh, his voice is still gone from Sunday morning now, midday. Anyway, we got an exciting episode, our third episode of the season already. Crazy. I am wearing an NFL shirt, believe it or not. This is NFL brand. Why it's not anything, I don't know. But it's a good shirt. Anyway, moving on. We only have one little piece of news that anyone cares about. Yeah, Dylan flexed his shirt. The Eagles have traded for Tank Bigsby after our second stringer, but he got our second string running back got hurt. We still have Quadzilla, of course. We're not Saquon Barkley. Actually, a guy they traded for from the Packers, believe it or not. But anyway, so we now have another running back in the mix. But yeah, because anyway, yeah, Will Shipley got hurt. It's not a huge move, but it's interesting because everyone's like, "Oh, Tank Bigsby is going to take over for ETN." Guess what? Nope. But yeah, that's the only interesting news that I care about. There's a few people that are hurt. The Niners offense is hurt. But anyway, like I said, no one cares. Anyway, moving on. First the first week of the NFL season has occurred.
What a week. What a week. What a way
Yeah,
to kick off the season, some of these games.
it certainly was. I think arguably the best games, most interesting games were at the beginning and end of the week. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, the Eagles Cowboys game to kick it off. Crazy Spitgate. Eagles still won. Cowboys look better than we thought. But it is the Cowboys Eagles. The Cowboys are going to play well when they play their division rival. It happens. Chiefs Chargers in Brazil on Friday was another surprising game. Justin Herbert started stating Madison beer, and all of a sudden he's 1-0. Crazy. Is it coincidence? Maybe not. I don't know.
These celebrity
But
couples.
yeah, crazy game. Justin Herbert threw 3 touchdowns, 318 yards. Quentin Johnson also turned up to be their number one receiver, 2 touchdowns, 79 yards. Exciting game. Chiefs lost, which is crazy. But yeah, and then jumping to the end of the week, of course, we had the Bills Ravens. Crazy ending. The Bills were down 15 points and just came back in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, scoring 22. Absolutely insane game. Maybe
Quinn, I
game
got
of
a
the year.
joke for you. The Ravens.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, the Ravens, they find a way to lose. They are very creative in losing. And then, of course, Vikings Bears was boring until the fourth quarter when JJ McCarthy decided to come up and be like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll pull some Josh Allen. Maybe I got some of that. Boom. Touchdown. He threw one to Jefferson. I believe one was rushed in, and then he rushed one in, which is crazy. Or maybe he passed one to the running back. Anyway, crazy game. No, he passed one to Aaron Jones and got a 2-point attempt with Adam Thielen. Absolutely insane. Crazy games. Did not expect that game. That was the most surprising game to actually turn out interesting at the end. But Yeah, Dylan, any comments on those games, other games?
Well, I think the game I
Anything?
got to mention first is the biggest game of the week and possibly a preview of a playoff rematch, the Ravens and the Bills. I mean, when Henry ran in that touchdown, you thought it was over. I mean, a fan threw like a beer can at him. They were that pissed. And shame on you fans for leaving the game early and
Yeah,
missing
really.
one of the most epic things ever. How do you give up on number 17? I mean, even I thought the game was over, but when number 17's on the field, the clock, like Lamar said in his interview, it's not over till it hits zero. And that was 100% the case. The Ravens defense, man, I put that game kind of on them. You cannot put the game on the team that scored 40 points. I don't care if Derrick Henry fumbled. That did change everything, but after everything he did, you can't put the blame on him. That defense got so conservative at the end, playing basically prevent and letting receivers get wide open and allowing touchdowns to be easy. One of the game could have been over on that 1 4th down where I think it was either Knox or Kincaid who tipped Allen's pass and somehow the
Yeah.
receiver dove and caught it. It would have been over. But nope. And the Ravens they Raven because they do this a lot. They do it so much. And as a Steelers fan, it brings me so much joy. But in terms of a guy like me who picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, it's like, again, like this, I'm not concerned in terms of the regular season. They'll be fine. I'm concerned the way they're playing now in January. Is this going to happen again? They're going to blow it again when the lights get too bright for them. And I feel bad for Lamar and Henry because this game was not on them at all. But epic comeback for the Bills. Their defense looked rough, but hey, they got it done. That's what matters. And again, probably already the game of the year. I don't know what's going to top that. Other games, obviously, you got to talk about my Steelers and probably the second best game of the week,
Aaron
beating the
Rodgers.
Jets. The bad man, Mr. Discount Double Check, is back. I had a TikTok of basically me just overreacting to the win, and people thought I was serious about it, and they were crapping on me. It's 1 week. It's the Jets. Shut up. Let me have this. I'm overreacting. I'm not gonna sit here and actually say Steelers gone to Super Bowl. It's a good
I
start,
will.
but but hey, your boy Justin Fields that you and I have been crapping on for a while, he did very well for himself. That Steelers defense looked very shaky, especially against the run. Brees Hall had a day against us. I don't know how many big runs he got, but he did get 107 yards. Garrett Wilson got the big touchdown. Steelers couldn't run the ball. Their whole offense was passing. And Rodgers, I mean, throwing for 4 touchdowns when you haven't played one preseason game is very impressive. The O-line still looked pretty bad, but a veteran like Rodgers knows how to overcome that. My man Ben Skoranek caught a touchdown and recovered that that fumble changed everything on the kickoff, changed the tides. Chris Boswell, my man, best kicker in the league. I will say it, especially that the creep Tucker's gone. It's Boswell. It was 60 yards. I mean, just incredible. And then Jalen Ramsey, as shaky as he played and the whole secondary played, got the hit on Garrett to end it. Just wild stuff from my Steelers. And I hope this means the Jets are better than we think and not just like the Steelers' concerns, because I am very concerned about their defense, but we might finally have an offense again. So I didn't think anyone expected Steelers Jets to be in the 30s. We both said this is going to be ugly. I don't know how that turned out to be the opposite, but I guess some other games that stood out, and Quinn, you could react to them too. Obviously, your Eagles, the Eagles. I know you reacted on TikTok, but survived against the Cowboys despite your best player deciding to be an idiot. Even though Dak, I guess, spit first.
Okay.
The Giants were a little disappointing as well. I expected a little bit better, but it might be time to put in Dart. I know that might be overreacting, but Russ looked rough out there, and so did their O-line. The Browns, browned again. Their kicker basically lost them the game because they were playing so well, but he just blew it. Broncos didn't look as good as we thought they would. They barely won. I mean, their defense looked good, but
Disappointing.
the Packers, I think, were the best overall team this week in terms of offense, defense, special teams, coaching, everything. Colin Coward, your man, said that, and I agree. I think they were the best looking team all week. They made the Lions look like chumps out there, missing Ben Johnson. Love looked good. The offense looked good. Josh Jacobs was pretty good as well, but the defense just stood out. Micah getting his first sack. The pressure was getting on Goff all day. Their receivers were struggling. Just what an overall team performance by the Packers to get that win over the Lions. We both predicted them, but I didn't think it'd be this good. But yeah, I guess in terms of the rest of the games, the Dolphins are on tank watch, and maybe somehow the Colts are good with Danny Dimes.
Indiana
They're
Jones,
win.
get it right. Jeez.
The Panthers disappointed as well. I expected more from them. The Cardinals
Me
playing
too.
down to the Saints. The Bucks surviving Atlanta. They usually got pretty good games, and Atlanta once again falconed with Kuz miss. The Patriots not looking as good as I thought they would, especially their offense. The Raiders impressed a little bit. The Niners got a million players hurt, but still managed to get it done. And then the final game mentioned was the Rams being the Texans and kind of a defensive shootout. Matt Stafford.
Snore fast.
Yeah, but Stafford got his record, so that's all that matters. But Quinn, out of
That's
all
true.
those games, what else do you want to talk about?
Well, Colin Cowherd did his top 10 teams, and he put Packers at number one, of course, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
talking point. Also, a little silly, but it's not too bad. No, I mean, nothing. It wasn't too crazy of a first week. There wasn't any like, wait, they won? Like, what happened? I mean, everything that happened was like somewhat reasonable. I mean,
I put the Bills come back just because,
yeah,
like, wow,
I
how
just
did
mean
they
in terms
win?
of like, yeah, the only for me, I'm thinking about like some awful team beating some good team, and like the closest you got to that was like Colts beating Dolphins. Like that was the most surprising week one of like what? But then I don't think that's going to be that surprising or that much of a fluke for this season because
Because
the
Miami
Dolphins
probably sucks.
trash. Yeah, to turn the ball over.
McDaniel's on the hot
Um,
seat, man. He is
yeah,
100%.
I mean Chargers beating the Chiefs was a little bit of a surprise because they haven't done that in the past like 6, 8 games, but yeah, otherwise nothing crazy. Pretty good first week of football. Hopefully this next week is better, but only one way to find out. Um, but now I think we'll mosey on over to our power ranking.
New intro, hit it.
Women.
Let me talk!
Sort of new. The video's new, but the intro's still the same because if it ain't broke, don't fix it because we got to let him cook. So, Quinn, I'm going to start with you, man. What you got? You agree with
All
Colin
right, Quinn, I'm going to
Coward?
start with me. I do not have the Packers at number one. Surprise. But number 10, I have the Detroit Lions. I think somebody said, I don't know if I should be happy that I'm still in the top 10 or disappointed I'm 10. And this was a Lions fan. But they're moving down 5 spots from last week. They look bad. Looks like their coordinator woes are a problem like they were in Philly 2 years ago. I know that can be painful, and the Lions might be experiencing that. But yeah, I have them at 10 now. I still give them the respect of the talent they have on their team, and Dan Campbell's still their head coach. But Lions at 10. Number 9, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers dropping down 2 spots. They did win, but I just like the teams ahead of them more, and it was kind of a sloppy, close win. I mean, Mbuka caught, what, 2 touchdowns? And got the game sealing touchdown, which is bad because I'm like Evans in fantasy, which is stupid. Anyway, but I have the Bucks at 9. Number 8, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 8, dropping down 6 spots. They lost. It didn't look great. Mahomes magic it could have worked, but it didn't. I mean, Mahomes had that one like falling down pass forward, which I saw memes later about saying like if Jameis Winston was successful all of the random crap he tried, he would be Mahomes, which I mean that's kind of true.
He had
That's
that
kind of
fourth down throw, too. That deep throw.
yeah,
Give him that.
that's true. But yeah, it didn't look great. They probably could be higher, but I'm at 8 for now. They can earn their way back up. Number 7, I have the Commanders at number moving up 3 spots. I mean, their win wasn't that impressive. I mean, it was also against the Giants. Russ did not cook. Um, but their rookie running back, Kresge Merritt, he got a touchdown, 82 yards, not too bad. Debo actually did pretty well. He got a rushing touchdown, and he got, let's see, a few yards, manageable, 77 yards. So he looked a little more like the normal Debo we know, which is unfortunate because I don't like Debo particularly or the Commanders, but I have them at 7. Number 6, I have the Rams. I didn't have them move. It's nice to see Stafford is healthy, but um, they didn't wow me in the Texans 9-14, almost like Super Bowl a few years ago, just with more points. He won more points. Anyway, number 5, I have the Steelers moving up from outside the top 10. I mean, the defense didn't look great all game. Like you said, we'll just have to wait to see if it's the Jets being like somewhat competent or if it's the Steelers defense just being bad. But I mean, like you said, defense came up big at the end with that forced fumble on with that forced fumble. I'm having trouble with names. Anyway, and then it's so nice though because you actually have a quarterback and you have an offense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns. This is the first time the Steelers have had a quarterback for 4 touchdowns. This is Big Ben. Crazy. So Steelers number 5. Number 4, I have the Packers moving up 4 spots. This is where I have them. Looked really good. Micah played only like 40-some% of the snaps and still got a sack. So looking pretty good. But I still like the teams above them a little more. Number 3, I have the Ravens. Still at the same spot. They did lose, but it was a very good game. I just kept them where they were for now. I think that's fair. Number 2, I had to drop the Eagles down 1 spot.
Whoa!
But it wasn't.
I'm stunned.
It wasn't very impressive. AJ Brown didn't get a pass, which I mean, you win the game.
Oh,
Barkley
sorry, he
looked
got
good with
one
his
catch.
boots.
He got one.
Yeah, he got 1 catch for 8 yards, which pretty much sealed the game. Or was 1 pass
He was
from it.
busy reading
But
his books.
yeah, but I put the Bills at number 1, moving up 3 spots just for that comeback win at the end. It's that kind of clutch, close game comeback kind of thing that you want to see good teams do, good quarterbacks do. So I have the Bills at number 1. I think well earned.
All right. You caught me off guard there with that list. I'll give that to you. And these power rankings are a good chance for us to go into detail about like the teams and how they performed and how much we were impressed because it's kind of more general when we just go over the games. We go over probably more of the interesting games. We want to acknowledge every game, but this is when we go more into depth with the teams as well as predictions as well. So just to clarify to you people, but I got my Pittsburgh Steelers at number 10. That's about the
1?
highest I could put them. No, they're not even close to that because it is the Jets. They're a big question mark if their performance was legit or a fluke, but we have an offense. It's just maybe the expense of our defense. And interestingly enough, it was Kenneth Gainwell that forced that big fumble on Xavier Gibson, by the way, who just got cut from losing that ball. I don't blame them, but he's a talented kid. It's just you do that, you're probably gonna get cut. And yeah, it's the best this offense has looked. Maybe the receiver problems aren't as big of a deal as we think. If we even think about trading for Tyreek Hill, which I've heard about those rumors, and in the piece of news, in the most shocking news, Tyreek Hill has more allegations. I mean, Quinn, you gotta be stunned about that. Who would have guessed an upstanding citizen would do that? Which probably beats Mike Tomlin wants him because he don't care about personalities as long as they can play football. Look at Antonio Brown. So stay away. Just go back to Kansas City, Tyreek. But anyway, yeah, I have the Steelers at 10 because they have an offense. Number 9, I got the Rams. It's kind of the opposite. They got a pass rush. And this Texans O-line that we thought was going to be better was not. Was not really. Stroud was having problems all day. And the Rams offense didn't play at their best, but I think it was because it was a battle of 2 very good defenses. The Texans are just as good of a defense, and as long as Stafford's healthy, I think the Rams offense will continue to improve. So I was impressed with their win against Houston, especially on the defensive side. Number 8, I got the Commanders. Another team I was impressed with because I expected the Giants to put up a much better fight. Maybe if they would have had someone else other than Mr. Unlimited himself. Maybe they would have, but they didn't. And the Commanders looked really good. Their running back room, honestly, might be underrated, honestly. You mentioned the rookie getting that big touchdown, and Eckler's still there. And Daniels can do it on the ground as well. And their defense stepped up too, which there were questions about them heading into this year and last year. It kind of costed them. Maybe their defense got a lot better than they were last year. And if that's the case, they could definitely get back to the NFC Championship. But number 7, I got the Bucks. Just a consistently good team. Them in Atlanta, it's always close. You never know who's going to win when they play. But, man, Baker and that offense, they got a clutch gene too, where they just managed to get game-winning drives. And Baker did that. And, yeah, they did it. They did a heck of a job, but I expect them to remain consistent. Number 6, I got the Kansas City Chiefs because don't doubt them too much. This is maybe their weakest team they've had in a while, but it's number 15. You cannot bet against them in these games. Poor Xavier Worthy got absolutely manhandled by his own teammate Kelsey. Seeing all those memes about that, about how Taylor Swift was hyped when they drafted Worthy and Kelsey was planning to do that. Oh, chef's kiss of memes. Thank you, Instagram and TikTok. But they're still a good team. Maybe we just have to acknowledge that the Chargers are just reaching up their level. And speaking of, they're just above them at number 5 because I was very impressed by how they play, especially Justin Herbert. He looked calm, cool, and collected. Really no mistakes. Those big touchdowns to Quentin Johnston were really good. The run at the very end was amazing too. People forget how good he is on his feet. People seem to undermine that. Well, he showed you there against supposed to be a good Chiefs defense. They kind of made them look average. They really did. And the Chargers, for their faults on defense and everything, Jim Harbaugh's supposed to be like this old school ground and pound defensive guy. They look good. That Chiefs O-line that was supposed to be improved, how we're having problems and Mahomes is running all day. And maybe this is finally the year. People keep hoping the Chargers can be something. Maybe, just maybe, this could be the year they at least make a deep run. Number 4, I got the Ravens. Like you said, you can't dock them too much because, I mean, they were up big at some points. They, honestly, if they would have won this, I would have probably put them in number 1. At least number 1 and number 2. They looked like the best team in the league for about 3.5 quarters, and then those final 10 minutes happened, and it just went all to crap. And that's just, again, like I said in the recap, that's just very worrisome come January. Number 3, I got the Bills. Their comeback was epic, and I know why you'd put them in number 1. It's just their defense kind of worries me again. I feel like their defense is still going to cost them at some points. Like, I didn't really see Joey Bosa that active on defense at all. I mean, Ed Oliver had a good game, but besides that, the rush defense was rough, and Lamar was kind of owning them. I mean, they did get that fumble, I will admit that, but the defense was struggling. But when you got number 17 on the field, who the heck cares? Because that man is just lethal. And the way he just organized and manufactured those game-winning drives, a thing of perfection. And the way they managed the clock and the way they managed to get those big conversions. I'm in awe of that man. I am. Haley Steinfeld, you married one hell of a player because he is going to be here for years to come and one of the most epic comebacks I've seen recently. But I got the Packers jumping up to number 2 on the list because, like I said, the most complete win all week long. Maybe still concerns about Jordan Love and his consistencies because he did throw a pick 6 that got called back. But overall, the team looked very well structured, and I think they're going to do very well this season. But I got to keep your Eagles at number 1 despite the shaky performance. Yes. You lost your best defender because he had to hawk Tua on Dak. And yes, there's some concerns, but the fact that you won without Carter, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith basically being non-existent, basically number 1 on that team, Hurts, did all the work on that offense. Him and Saquon, pretty much. So the fact that you managed to do that, to beat a good Cowboys team that I think a lot of people are discrediting just because the Micah trade and discrediting their talent on offense. I know CD got a case of the dropsy Butterfingers, and George Pickens is fighting people like usual. But Dak looked good. The Cowboys overall impressed me. So I still think this was a good win for Philly, and I don't think there should be much concern besides Carter, get your act together. That's really about it. You're the champs. You're still number one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so pretty good top 10s. I have a special little segment cooked up for this episode, episode 3. Ooh, surprise!
Ooh.
It is the top 5 running back performances from this past week.
There are a lot of them.
And that's where the motivation came from. It came from God. So, should I start number 1 or number 5, Dylan?
Why don't you make it interesting? Go 5 through 1. Do the tradition. Why not?
All right. So, number 5, I have James Cook. Now, his numbers weren't super impressive, but I feel like he made the plays when he needed to. So he got 44 yards rushing and a touchdown, and then 5 catches for 58 yards. The Bills said they're going to get him more involved in the passing game, which clearly they did. 58 yards isn't too bad for a running back. And then he finally got paid, so came in and performed pretty well. I was happy with that. Honorable mention is Saquon Barkley, just because of his jukes, because that was impressive and fun to watch. Because who doesn't like that? Number 4, anyway, I have Bijan Robinson. I really didn't know what to think about him coming in the season in terms of like fantasy production, but he only got 24 yards rushing, which is kind of bad. But he got a 50-yard pass in like the very beginning of the game for a touchdown. And he ended up getting 6 catches for 100 yards and 1 touchdown. So after that 1 catch, it wasn't a whole lot. That's why I'm at 4, but it was still impressive that he caught that, or only 6 catches for 100 yards and touchdown. Crazy. So not quite running back performance as much as performance in general, but this week he's number 4. Number 3, I have Christian McCaffrey coming back. No one knew if he was gonna.
Thank God he played.
Yeah, it's just like, is he gonna play? I don't know. I have his handcuff.
People were ready to grab pitchforks and murder Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, they probably should. Save the Niners some trouble. Anyway, so he had 69 yards rushing, and then I believe it was 9 catches for 73 yards. So collectively, he got a lot of yardage, no touchdowns, nothing insane, but pretty good, solid production, better than most running backs this week. But number 3. Number 2, I have a surprise. Dylan, you want to take any guesses on what team?
Oh, geez. It's going to be some unexpected team. I know it. Did ETN do very well? I know he did
Travis
good.
ETN
Oh,
at 143
wow.
rushing yards. 143. That's crazy.
That good. Wow.
And then 3 catches for 13 yards. Absolutely destroyed. People were questioning, like, oh, ETN's wash. He's trash. It all started with like, the London games last year.
He played rough last year.
Now
he did.
He's back. And so, absolutely crazy. Props to him. He did very well. Unfortunately, he did not do well enough to upset the king, Derrick Henry himself. The Ravens may have lost, but Henry got 160 yards for 2 touchdowns and then 1 catch for 13 yards, but he did get a fumble. Still kept him number 1, though, because he did the best. He also got 2 touchdowns compared to ETN's 0, so I think he deserves number 1 for this week. He played out of his mind, so kudos to him. But Derrick Henry, number 1.
I mean, despite the fumble, you have to. He was going off on them.
Yeah, he was very good this week. But I'm going to move along now, I think, to Dylan's special segment.
Ooh. It's time to have some fun, Quinn. Time to have our fun segment. So, like I said, to recap last year, I usually did like a quote of the week or like clip of the week, basically, of any like funny thing from all of football that I saw. And I changed that and was inspired by my man, Mike Tomlin himself, and the million weird analogies he has. And I have Dylan's Tomlinism of the week. And this week's Tomlinism of the week goes to Aaron Rodgers.
And now it's time for Dylan's Tomlinism of the week.
We do not care.
There's no greater feeling than being on the field and being able to compete. And that's what I was thinking about all those days. in the offseason was opportunities like this. Now, I didn't think it'd be against my former team, but really proud of our guys making clutch plays down the stretch.
Last one for you. You look pretty comfortable in this Arthur Smith offense.
Yeah, there's a lot of garbage being talked out, about myself or Arthur or whatever out there, how we're going to coexist. We got a great relationship, and he called a really good game. I got to play a little better in spots, but happy to be 1-0.
It's fun to watch, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Man, Rodgers versus the media has got to be the most intriguing rivalry more than any team because, Rodgers took a little bit of a shot, though, at those people saying the garbage of how Rodgers and Arthur Smith are going to coexist. Well, I was questioning just Arthur Smith's existence in general, just because that man as a play caller could be questionable, but he did well. He actually play called very well, which I was impressed. So, yep, Aaron Rodgers, you're our Tomlinism of the week. Mike Tomlin hasn't even won his own named segment. Sorry, Tomlin, you'll win one day. But Quinn, time to move on to your fun segment.
Well, I will quick comment. I kind of expected you to pull up the clip of Rodgers or the comment of Rodgers saying, like, I was happy to beat everyone in that Jets organization or whatever you said. That was kind of funny. Too.
I was thinking about putting that one, but that one's like so popular and everyone's talked about that.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's an honorable mention to that too, for him just being like, yeah, I felt good to beat everyone on that team. Suckers.
But yeah, we're going to move on now to wow and ow.
Wow and ow.
Wow.
Stokely! Wow! No!
Again, same intro, just new video.
Beautiful. I love it. And of course, you got to love the at the end. Anyway, so we got a action-packed wow now. I have my paper filled with
I'm
notes.
excited.
So we're going to start with wow. First of all, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we're going to keep talking about it because wow, Josh Allen, fourth quarter. What? That's crazy. So just to recap, Josh Allen was down 15 with 4 minutes left in the game. NFL teams who were also down 15 with 4 minutes left in the game, all the teams who have ever been down 15 with 4 minutes left in the game since 2017 are 0 and 717. They've lost 717 times in that situation. Now is 1 to 100 to 717. Because Josh Allen is 200. Yeah, wow. Josh Allen had 251 passing yards in the fourth quarter. Bonkers. Absolutely insane. So kudos to him. I mean, he shut up those MVP chants for Lamar Jackson. Like, yeah, shut your mouth. Did Lamar do this? No. Guess what? He can he? Huh? Crazy.
Yeah, he still played well.
He did, but he didn't score 16 in 4 minutes. Crazy. Anyway, moving on. I have the wrong name written on here. It's Indiana Jones, not Danny Dimes. Jeez, insane. Never would have guessed he came out. I mean, he scored, and he and the Colts scored on all 7 possessions. He passed for 272 yards, a touchdown, and rushed for 2 touchdowns. Like, who is this guy? Who is this franchise quarterback all of a sudden they found? Are these stats for AR-15? No?
Heck no.
Oh my god. This is what they wanted Anthony Richardson to do, 272 touchdown, 2 rushing. Like, you would have, if no one knew, if you would have woken up from a coma after they drafted Anthony Richardson and been like, oh, what are the stats for today's game? Oh, their quarterback threw for that much and got 3 touchdowns. Oh, that's crazy. He's doing well. And be like, actually, we traded for Daniel Jones. Or no, we signed Daniel Jones. That person would go back into that coma. That was shock. Maybe not choice.
If this was Anthony Richardson, it'd be like 16-8, not 33.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what they wanted Richardson. This is what they drafted him and imagined he would do. And then, well, he's on the bench.
They thought he'd be
But,
Josh Allen, instead he's Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
So that's an owl to him.
Disappointing. But anyway, maybe the Colts have their franchise guy now. Who knows? Maybe that's the week one weird thing that went
too
on.
far.
Anyway, Aaron Rodgers. Wow, 4 touchdowns. This is the first, or 2 of the touchdowns were in 50 seconds. He's the first quarterback since Big Ben to have 4 touchdowns in the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I want to mention the Colts defense. Wow. They allowed under 100 yards. They got sacks, forced fumbles, and a pick. Crazy. I didn't think the Colts D would. I know they can be good, but other times they can be not good. But they impressed. They impressed. But that wraps up for the wows. A lot of big wows this week. Exciting. Anyway, moving on to the ows. First up, Lamar MVP chance. That was a
the
big
chance.
Yeah. MVP. Yeah. My foot.
How about
Crazy.
the fan
We
that
talked about the Bills
slapped
game already.
Derrick Henry's helmet? Or I think it was Derrick
Was
Henry's
it
helmet, and Lamar
somebody-
just shoved him.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's also an ow for everyone involved.
Mhm.
Yeah. Weird. But anyway, we talked about the Bills and the Ravens sucking enough. Although the Ravens did score 40 with 238 yards. By the way, teams who were up in the fourth quarter, like the Ravens, that scored 40 points in the game and had the lead in the fourth quarter, I believe, were 277-0 in win-to-loss ratio. Now they're 277-1. Suckers.
Hell yeah,
Anyway,
let's go.
Yeah. Also on the owl list, Harbaugh. I mean, that's kind of comes in. This is his 8th loss when he's been leading by 8 or more points in the fourth quarter. Not great. And then there could be a lot more ows, but we have more anyway. Thought I was done. The Dolphins. Ow. Moving on. AJ Brown. 1 catch, 8 yards. Yeah, I figure we talk. Anyone who's like saw the Dolphins game record or the numbers.
Just watch the game, and that's all.
Or just don't watch the game. You'd probably be happier if you didn't.
Unless you're a Colts fan.
Yeah. Anyway, Russell Wilson, Giants. Ow. Russ was 17 for 37, 168 yards, and lost 21-6. Yeah, not good. And then, of course, we have Bryce Young. We thought he'd be better. I thought he'd be better.
Mhm.
After last year, he's like, oh, well, quarterback guru. Guess I'll be good. Maybe he has to be benched for a few games and then come in. But he was 51.4% on his passes for completions and had 4 turnovers. Ow. Ow. But, jumping back briefly for the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill had 40 yards for 40 or on 4 receptions, I believe.
You see him yelling at people on the
Dolphins-
sideline too. That's an owl, along with the allegations. He's an owl person.
Yeah. He needs to get out of the league.
That sucks.
On that bombshell,
sucked.
that's it for Wow Now. Wow. Ow. Anyway, but now we move on to arguably the best part of the episode, predictions.
You stink! Absolutely terrible, man. You're so stupid it hurts.
So we got a somewhat interesting week, somewhat not interesting week. Starting off with the Commanders-Packers on Thursday Night Football. First Thursday Night Football official game because the Eagles-Cowboys didn't count because it's the first game of the season. Stuck on it, Amazon. Anyway, so I believe Dan Snyder, the head coach of the Commanders,
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. Anyway, Dan Quinn was joking around like, yeah, you should sit Micah Parsons. I think he needs some more time to recover, talking about the game, which is funny because I'm having the Packers win this game. this should be an interesting game. I mean, the Packers look really good. The Commanders look good, but I gotta take the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. Dylan, are you also going go Pack go? Go Pack go?
They aren't even your favorite team anyway. And
Say it.
they gave Amazon a good game. I'm stunned. They usually never do that. I'll give them credit for this game. I'm also going to go with the Packers just because they're more complete to me than the
Yeah.
Commanders. Commanders still feel like their defense played well, but again, it was the Giants. So take that.
It's
It's
the
kind of like a
Giants.
grain of salt. It's
grains
Packers
of salt.
at Lambeau's completely different. I just feel like, especially too, as much as Daniels versus Love, people might prefer Daniels over Love, possibly. I still got to go with the Packers just because of the team aspect of it.
Yeah. Makes sense. And they don't, well, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Then, next up, we have the Giants at the Cowboys for a Sunday game. I mean, I can't see this going any other way besides the normal Cowboys beating up the Giants and laughing. Because the Giants certainly didn't do anything against the Commanders. Commanders are better than the Cowboys, but with how the Cowboys have played against the Eagles, I think that easily converts into playing against other division rivals because Cowboys seem to do well against the Commanders even last season too. Actually, no, they're trash last season. Anyway, but yeah, I have to see the Cowboys here. I think this is pretty easy.
I mean, unless they're putting Dart in, then I'm also going with the Cowboys. And I think they're planning, Dayball said they're still planning to start Russ. So go with the Cowboys because they actually at least look decent against a really good team. While the Giants, like I said, really disappointed me. I thought they'd play a lot better last week.
Yeah. Put Winston in there. Get him in there. He'll have a great time. Before we go too far in, before I forget, Dylan and I disagreed on on 4 games last week. We each got 2 right. So we're tied.
We're kind of even, yeah.
Record between us. So we'll have to keep track of that this season. That'll be fun. I believe we both went 10-6.
Yeah. We both went 10-6.
Yeah. So then we have the Seahawks at the Steelers. Seahawks didn't do terribly, but kind of had a little bit of a forgettable game, I feel like. Last week, Darnold played all right, but they still lost, I believe, to the Niners. But I'm taking the Steelers here. I'm riding the Steelers hype train. Steelers going to Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers balling out. Give me the Steelers.
Steelers got Super Bowl. They win. It'll be closer than people think. That defense, like I said, worries me a little bit because Seattle's is good. Seattle's defense shut down the Niners pretty good, mainly because Kittle and Jennings got hurt, but still they did well. But I think the defense will bounce back a little bit because Seattle's offense just didn't look too great. And I don't think they're going to look that good this year. Their O-line's not as good, so hopefully our pass rush will do a little bit better. Darnold doesn't move around like Fields does, so I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Total agreement so far. We'll see if it differs. Probably not this game, though, because this is the Rams at the Titans. Titans couldn't really get anything going last week. Cam Ward wasn't awful, but none of his receivers caught the ball. And
he had no help.
Can't really get
Cam Ward
yards,
had no help.
So
you can't fault that game
they're
on
like,
him. His O-line was terrible.
Pass? Oh, no, I won't catch it. Why would I do that? That'd be
He got
silly.
sacked 6 times. You want to talk about welcome to the NFL?
Yeah, so a bit of a rough intro. Probably not going to get much better facing the Rams, but I feel much better about the Rams and the Titans. I don't think there's any question about this game.
I think Tennessee could put up a fight, but I don't think they'll win. It's because, again, the Rams' pass rush is just as good as Denver's. So, yeah, give me the Rams.
Yeah, and then next game we have the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Now, the Bills do lead the overall series 71-58. This could be a more interesting game if the Jets are actually legit nuisances to other teams. I don't know if I'd say contenders because we don't know, but they certainly gave the Steelers a hard time. They could give the Bills a hard time. I mean, I'm pretty sure a few years ago, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets beat the Bills. Or maybe it was the Aaron Rodgers.
That game, Rodgers got hurt. They still won.
Yeah, right. First game of the season. That might have been a fluke game. Probably was. But yeah, I have to go the Bills here.
Oh, you almost said it.
I couldn't, That'd be terribly wrong, I hope. But Dylan?
Well, I think the Jets will put up a fight. I think it might fare similar to the Steelers game where it's like higher scoring. Fields will show out again. But ultimately, I got to go with Buffalo just because of number 17. When the chips are down, if this game's close, he'll manage to get it done. So give me Buffalo.
And then we move on to the first tank bowl of the season. Kind of more like just bad team bowl. We have the Patriots at the Dolphins. Now this is only difficult because the Patriots did not perform great last week. They look like the same Patriots as last season, where they're like, can we score? No. Can we score? No. Can we take the lead? No. Can we get 3 points? No. Against the Raiders. So I could see the Dolphins winning here, honestly. But I feel like this is a chance for the Patriots to really say, okay, we're going to squish the fish and move on. But yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots here, but I'm not going to be totally surprised if the Dolphins do win.
Well, Drake May looked rough out there. It was weird how they were passing a lot. I think he threw for like 50 times when you have like a good running back in Stevenson and Hendrickson, the rookie out of Ohio State. It's weird how they approached that game plan, and their receivers were letting Drake May down to dropping everything. And Miami always beats New England at Miami. It's like the Jags Colts thing, where they just always win no matter how good or bad the teams are. But Miami was so bad last week, and the Patriots defense is still stout to the point where I'm like, the Pats got to win. Miami's defense might be one of the worst in the league, and that's saying a lot. But I think Drake May bounces back, and I think the Pats win because they're at least competent.
Yeah.
By Mike
I feel like they have a much higher ceiling. Even the Dolphins did do well in the past. Anyway, that's not here or there. Moving on, we have a more interesting, more difficult to predict game coming up because it's the Jaguars at the Bengals.
Oh.
Now, the Bengals don't do well in the beginning of the season, as everyone knows. They did win last week, but I think they got like a very 3 passes or something in the second half of the game against the Browns, and they only won because the Browns kicker was kicking the wrong way, practically. But I don't know. On one hand, I think the Jags could upset them, but it is at home. Again, it's tough, but I think I'm just going to go with the Bengals, give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the Jags weren't incredible last week, and again, they did play the Panthers. But yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals here.
This one's tough. This one's tough because Cincy didn't look that impressive at all. I mean, I have Burrow and Chase in 2 of my fantasy leagues. They were bad. Cleveland's defense was all over them. Did you see Myles Garrett absolutely wrecking Burrow on the one play? You thought he wasn't getting up from that. Their O-line is still as bad as ever. How? They've been bad for years. The Bengals offense did not impress. Surprisingly, their defense did really good, which we all expected they were going to do terrible, but weird. It could because it's Cleveland. A lot of the interceptions and turnovers they got, their receivers for the Browns couldn't catch a cold. So, but I could catch a cold. Anyway, I'm so back and forth. I'm going to go with the Jags. This is going to be one of my bolder picks of the week. Despite me still having hope for Cincy, and I had them in the playoffs, I'm going to go with the Jags just because I think I know it's Carolina, but their defense looked good. Travis Hunter impressed, and Thomas Jr. didn't even do anything. He had 1 target. So I think if Lawrence targets him a little bit more, and ETN plays as good as he did against a defense that we don't think is going to be good, and maybe that performance was just because it was Cleveland, I think the Jags can win this. I 100% do. I think the Jags defense, it's kind of the battle of 2 defenses that played well but were expected to be trash. I think the Jags is just a little bit better. So I'm going to go with the Jags in an upset.
Yeah, honestly, fair. Like I said, it's kind of a difficult game. Another difficult game is the 49ers at the Saints. And not because the Saints are good. Well, they're not terrible their first week. But the 49ers, Brock Purdy is not going to play. George Kittle is going to be out for multiple weeks. And then Juwan Jennings is questionable, might not play at all. Pearsall is going to be their only wide receiver. Honestly, CMC might get all of the action. But I
Mac
think
Jones season, baby. He's back. Career
Yeah, Mac
resurgence.
Jones. Yeah, I mean, I do hope Mac Jones does well and gets a second chance, but I think I have to take the Niners over the Saints because the Saints are just kind of, we don't talk about the Saints.
I mean, this game's tough because Kittle's going to be out for a month, and we don't know how long Purdy's going to be out. Apparently, I mean, I think Max is going to start, but I heard they're kind of in the market to get somebody else. I don't know who's available. You got to bring Phillip Rivers out of retirement or something. I don't know who's in free agency or Ryan Tannehill. I don't know.
Aren't you forgetting about Kirk Cousins?
The Falcons still trying to ship him. That's never going to happen. But yeah, I still got to go with the Niners just because talent-wise, CMC's still there. And the Saints, all they have is Kamara. Poor Olave. I mean, Olave's good, but when you have a bad quarterback room,
I think.
yeah, that's the problem too. He can't stay healthy. He hasn't been able to stay healthy any part of his career. I think it'll be similar to the Cardinals Saints game where it's like lower scoring, kind of ugly. Like I don't think it's gonna be a blowout
Definitely.
because of the injuries, but I think the Niners will take it.
All right. Next up, we got a not exciting game. We got the Browns with the Ravens.
What are you talking about? Joe Flacco's return to Baltimore.
Oh, that's true. It's a revenge
Flacco
game for
versus
Joe
the
Flacco.
guy that replaced him.
On that note, I'm picking the Browns. No, I'm picking the Ravens. Yeah.
That's it. You know how pissed
that's
Baltimore's going to be after they lost that game. Sorry,
After they
Cleveland.
lose the Browns game.
You look. They looked okay last week. If it wasn't for their kicker, they probably would have won. But Baltimore 100% takes this. I think this will be a blowout because all their frustrations, like Henry's going to unleash. Browns defense always is kind of underrated, and maybe the Ravens can play down to them. But after what happened last week, I think they're going to show their full potential and win this.
So here is a interesting game. The last 1 o'clock matchup. We have the Bears at the Lions.
This one's very interesting.
What do you think? What do you think?
This one's tough because, man, Monday, Caleb Williams looked good in some parts, like especially at the beginning of the game, and then the second half, he looked terrible. He was overthrowing everybody. The Bears defense did okay to start with the pick six, but then J.J. McCarthy, I guess, is him, and they just fell apart again. But the Lions looked horrible last week. But I think Detroit takes it just because I feel like Green Bay is so complete. I don't think Detroit's as bad as people are saying. I kind of got it right in terms of my overreaction of the week being like, oh, the Lions have fallen off. That's exactly what people were saying. And maybe they have, but I think they'll still beat the Bears. I think the Bears will time manage the clock better than the last time they were in Detroit. Remember that Thanksgiving game. But I still think Detroit's talent will help them.
I think this is one of the more difficult games to predict.
100%.
On one hand, I think the Bears could win this. They could come out just because the Lions are. What are the Lions now? I don't know. I mean, if they just throw the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown and run it with Gibbs, they could probably do better than whatever they were doing last week. But I don't know. But I think I have to give the Lions a benefit of the doubt, just talent-wise, because Bears just haven't really put together that well. They were still kind of struggling on Monday night against the Vikings, playing kind of badly, even though the Vikings defense is good. But I don't know. I have to take the Lions. It's really a crapshoot. I don't know the odds, but I bet they're interesting. Anyway, moving on to the first 4 o'clock game, we have the Broncos, who we both were disappointed by, like Dylan talked about before. Bo Nix didn't play particularly well. I think he had an interception as well. Playing the Colts with Indiana Jones. Now, a fun pick here would be the Colts. But, and I don't think it'd be that outrageous considering the Broncos defense didn't play that well last week, I would say. But I'm still going to I'm going to ride with the Broncos, you know? Yeah, I have to see Anthony Richardson. I have to see Daniel Jones perform well more than one game. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Bo Nix and his crew.
Well, Denver's defense did play well. They forced 6 sacks. It was the offense. They had 4
That's true.
turnovers. Bo Nix looked rough out there. And yes, Indy did impress, but again, it was Miami. I think Denver's defense makes the difference here. I think Daniel Jones is not going to be playing a trash Miami defense. They're going to be playing a really good pass rush, and I think that's going to give him trouble. And the Broncos offense did struggle, but I feel like they'll fix some areas. It took Bo Nix a while last year to get going. He was struggling the first few weeks. So I feel like that might just be the case where he just needs to tune up a little bit. And I think they'll do it, and I think they'll win.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, I'll give you the pleasure of telling your opinion first on the Panthers-Cardinals game. I know this is
Oh,
the most
what?
anticipated matchup.
Oh, thanks for the pleasure, man. Give me the Cardinals. I mean, I want to pick Carolina because I had them in second in the division. I'm immediately regretting that. But Bryce looks so bad. You're right, Quinn. He probably has to get his batteries reset again. I don't know if Andy Dalton's still there, but whoever the backup is, and then do have whoever be in a car crash, and then he'll come back in and be good. Seems like that's what it takes for Bryce to be good. I mean, Carolina just looks so bad. And Arizona didn't even look that good. I don't know how that game was close against New Orleans, but they at least have some type of talent a little bit. I mean, Kyler I don't like at all, but I trust him more than Bryce right now, so give me Arizona.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals as well. I trust them a lot more. I know that they can be good and efficient and play well. The Panthers, I feel like they maybe can, but
You don't
I trust
know.
the Cardinals to
You
do
never
it
know
more.
with them.
Exactly. Moving on to an even better game. Arguably should be the Sunday night football game. Arguably maybe Monday night, but it's Sunday afternoon. It's the Eagles Chiefs. Dylan.
I mean, come on, man. The GOAT's going to be announcing to Tom Brady on Fox. What can be better than that?
Even better.
What could be better than Tom Brady announcing the downfall of Patrick Mahomes when the Philadelphia Eagles win this game? And I know I am stroking Quinn's ego, but I know Philly looked shaky, and this game will be close, but the Chiefs are down and out now with Worthy being injured. They basically have no one at receiver besides Hollywood. He was the only one who did anything. The run game...
Jeez.
Shut up. And Carter, as long as he doesn't spit on Mahomes, their run defense will be a lot better than it was last week. And Kansas City's defense is no slouch. They did struggle, but I think they're still a good defense. But Philly's the more talented team overall, so I have to go with that.
Yeah, good choice. I'm obviously choosing the Eagles because I know my birds. And Super Bowl rematches the next year. The team that won the Super Bowl is 7-2, so it is possible. But Jalen Carter was not suspended. That full game suspension that he was kicked out of the game in the beginning. That kind of served as his suspension. Apparently, he got fined $52,222 or some.
Which is nothing with NFL players. That's nothing. That's strong
true.
change.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think the Eagles take this. I know it is an Arrowhead, which is going to be a little bit tougher, but I think the Eagles can do it. I'd like our team and roster a lot better than the Chiefs right now, especially considering, like you said, their pass catchers are Hollywood Brown, old Travis Kelce, Pacheco. Yeah,
that's
give me the
it.
Eagles here. Yeah. Hopefully Pacheco plays better because he's on my fantasy team. I need to step up a little.
Same.
But maybe they'll start running the ball more. Maybe they'll realize they should do that. Anyway, moving on. We have the Sunday night matchup. The one everyone's been looking for. What everyone waited the whole offseason for. The Falcons at the Vikings. Oh my God. What's going to happen?
It's not a horrible matchup.
No, not a horrible matchup. But two second-year quarterbacks, arguably rookie year.
McCarthy kind of is a rookie, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with McCarthy's performance, it's kind of hard to be like, well, or I'm sure some people are going to go, oh, boom, McCarthy, MVP. He's going to win. The Vikings defense is good. Do I think they're going to have trouble stopping Michael Penix? No. Bijan Robinson? Maybe, but Bijan was more of a pass catcher than a running back last week. But it's kind of difficult because, well, is JJ McCarthy going to keep performing? Is it going to stink like he did for the first 3 quarters on Monday Night Football compared to the Falcons, who are a little more assured? But I'm going to say the Vikings. Why not?
I mean, like I said, it's a better matchup than people think. There's talent there on both sides of the ball, obviously. It ain't going to be Ravens-Bills caliber, but still, I think it'll be an entertaining game. But I'm going to go a little bit bold here just because I feel like these first few weeks of the NFL could be very wonky in terms of predictions, especially like the first 3 to 4 weeks. Like we can have there's always teams like last year's Saints that were 2-0 and then were terrible the rest of the year. There could be teams that look so good now that look terrible a month or two from now. And there could be matchups where it's like, oh, clearly this team should win, but they don't win. But they still look good a couple months later. It's a weird September's a weird month for the NFL, the first few months. But I'm gonna go bold, say the Falcons take this. I think this matchup's pretty dead even. But as good as Minnesota's defense is, I still think Bijan will be able to feast. I think Michael Penix is a really good decision maker, and he's very athletic. That one touchdown he had where he just looked like Superman diving in. What an impressive play. He is a specimen of an athlete. He might not be the most accurate, but he is good. McCarthy's kind of the opposite, kind of like a safe type of thrower, but he did make some great plays, ran in for a touchdown and threw for a couple TDs. But like you said, are we going to get first half McCarthy or are we going to get fourth quarter McCarthy? I think he'll play better, but I'm going to give Atlanta the edge here. I think I like their talent just a little bit more than Minnesota's.
Yeah, I don't think it's that outrageous. I think it's kind of a somewhat even match, like you said, as well. Then moving on we have a Monday double header. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Texans, the Houston Texans. Dylan.
Man, that Texans offense, man. I don't want to overreact, but I don't know. Do we have to start having CJ Stroud conversations a little bit? I mean, the O-line still is not helping him, but was the rookie year a fluke? I don't want it to be. I like him, but he might still struggle, and I think he's going to struggle against Tampa. I think Tampa is just the well-versed, just better team overall. And it'll be close because it's kind of, again, pretty evenly matched. But I think Tampa's offense is much better than Houston. So give me the Bucs.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to take the Bucs. I was thinking about taking the Texans earlier this week, but because I didn't think the Bucs were great, but with the Texans' struggles, I think I'll give the edge to the Bucs here. And then the final Monday night game, we have the Chargers taking on the Raiders.
The Raiders!
Yeah.
Are not going to win this game because I'm going with the Chargers because Herbert looked so good. And I feel like I said, this Chargers team might finally be the team to make a push. The Raiders look good against the Patriots, but it's the QBs that really make the difference. Geno looked shaky. He had some great throws, and then he had some terrible interceptions. While Herbert was kind of not flawless, but solid. Didn't turn the ball over, didn't make any mistakes. And the running game for the Chargers did pretty decent as well. Overall, that offense did good. And I just think overall, I see more potential in the Chargers than I do with the Raiders. So, yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I think a little later in the season, the Raiders could be more convincing of winning this game if they develop more. But I think the Chargers take this. I mean, the Chargers can just beat the Chiefs. I think they can beat the Raiders. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the DQ Frenzy, where we have chill vibes and cold takes. Thank you all for watching. Right. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back next week, same time, probably. And
I'll hopefully feel better. This cold will go away.
Yes, wish Dylan well in recovering from his cold in the comments. Well, we'll see you all next time. See you then.
Steelers go Super Bowl.